We want to talk with you about the books that feed your imagination and the vices that spark your soul.
We drink, we curse, we read things. Come sit by us. Expect no judgment, just good times.
Welcome to Paper and Vices. Books reviewed, vices indulged.
Mature content warning.
I am Victoria Papers.
And I am Lee Vices.
And we are drinking. Be shocked.
Yes. Yeah, so shocked.
This is like Monday felt like 2 p.m. on Thursday when you're just sitting in that point where your week will never end.
Uh-huh.
But it was Monday.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what's been up with today or like this week, but it's kind of just dragged. And then tomorrow my kids are out of school for like a teacher work day or some shit. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what all of us would do if it weren't for the teacher work day, because we all just need it. Like, my kids are just bouncing off the fucking walls. And I'm just like, okay, apparently the school system knew that we would just need this random day to just chill the fuck out. So yeah, I'm with ya. What are you drinking?
Oktoberfest. Like,
nice.
I love Oktoberfest. It's just such a good, like, middle of the road chill ale.
It's Sam Adams, yeah?
Yeah. So pretty good.
Times.
What are you drinking?
I picked up another bottle of Crush. I know I mentioned a couple weeks ago that I had been off of the Crush for quite a few years, but now since I've rediscovered the taste of it, it's nice.
Nice.
I did notice it's interesting because sometimes I'll pour myself a glass and read a book and then end up passing the fuck out. And I don't like to chug a glass of wine right before I go lay down because that upsets my tummy. So
yeah.
So like sometimes I'll put like a little napkin over it and set it to the side for breakfast. No, not for breakfast. Just
sorry.
I think the earliest I've reached for that napkin covered glass was like 11, because I feel like 11.
Like after you do the school drop off.
Yes, school drop off. Everybody's safe. I got a few hours before I have to go back.
Yeah.
So anyway, I discovered that Crush does not stand the test of napkin over glass for 24 hours.
It's very fancy vinegar you made.
It is. It was fancy vinegar. I'm like, holy fuck, this is normally very oaky and it tastes like plum wine. I don't understand what's happened. So but anyway, so the things you learn and the things that nobody else really needed to know. Like, I don't know what they would do with that life advice, but there you have it.
Drink all your wine before bed is what she's saying.
Yes.
What are you reading? It's Halloween week.
It is Halloween week.
Jesus Christ. I'm gonna make my husband cringe. I have my annual bag of shaped Reese's Pieces things. They're not Reese's Pieces, they're Reese's miniatures. But they're all in a bag, so instead of being like ghosts and bats and pumpkins, their shape is all squish. Swear to God, they taste different. Like, the chocolate and peanut butter ratio of the Halloween Reese's is different than regular Reese's.
Oh,
I'm sure people will tell me I'm wrong. I don't care. I am prepared to die on this hill because my life has been pretty easy. Like,
there's more peanut butter with the Halloween and Christmas ones.
Yeah,
they stuff it like more.
So the sweet to salty ratio is better, in my opinion. It's like,
fair.
If you get the mini, like, foil wrapped Reese's, that's all off.
Really?
Yeah, they're like so much
know.
chocolate because the bottom layer is really thick.
That's true. See, I don't know. I almost like that better because I feel like sometimes the ones during the holidays, are just so, like, the peanut butter is so rich that I can only have like, maybe it's maybe it's a good thing, because I could totally consume a few of the like five or six minis, but like the holiday ones, I could take like maybe a bite or two, and then I'm just like, I can't.
I have been limiting myself. So first of all, before the pumpkin ones came out, I did not have any Reese's for like at least 2 months. Obviously, the way that bodies work is if you don't have candy for 2 months and then you eat all the candy you want, it equals out. Duh.
Duh. It's totally science.
I've been limiting myself to 3 at a time. At a
Yes.
time, take that how you want, but 3 at a time. I like how I asked you what you were reading, and then I was like, no, fuck that. It's Halloween. Let's talk about candy.
Yes. No, it's okay. It's a valid interruption, I feel. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it was necessary to talk. I mean, it's fucking Halloween, so
Yeah.
candy is a good excuse. So-
I'm trying to decide. It's not actually on Halloween that we're recording this. Y'all will probably hear it a few days before Halloween, but it's all in that lumpy time of this is Halloween week that lasts for like a week and a half before Halloween, and your kid's
Yes.
like, I'm gonna be this thing every 4.5 seconds, and there's candy on
Yeah.
your desk.
Yep. It's a
So.
jolly good time.
I am so blessed that the 2 best friends my kid has had in her life have been your kid
Mm-hmm.
and this friend she's made up here. They're very close. And this kid's mom has become one of my closest friends.
Yeah.
So I think the plan for trick or treat is either hard cider or pumpkin spice lattes and just following the children lazily around. And hopefully we can rope the dads into doing like the active shit, and we can just be like, we're drinking and we're out here with you. It counts.
Yes. We're here for moral support. Go do the thing.
Yes.
That sounds amazing.
I won't even steal candy since my punk ass goes to Target and I buy my own.
We're actually planning to do something a little different because, like, down near the like, we usually hit up somebody's neighborhood, but we're thinking about doing the attraction area thing that's done by like 9 o'clock or whatever, super early. We've done it a couple of times before, but we've just been too late. So we're like, maybe we'll actually get our ass out there early.
Like, go do dinner and then do the candy.
Yeah, something like that. But, like, this area where we're looking at going, like, they don't give out, like, normal candy. They give out fucking normal-sized candy bars because it's the rich area of town.
Oh, I think I know where you're talking about.
Yeah.
Bitch, yes. Maybe next year we'll get us some costumes and go.
Right?
Or we can just show up at people's doors with slightly disheveled hair and be like, I need a snack. I'm dressed up as a child. Give me a snack. Hi, Mommy. Can I have a snack? Not trick or treat. Just, hi, Mommy. Can I have a snack?
We just have shirts. Oh, man.
Surprised that was not my child's first sentence. Although her first sentence did involve the word cheese. So.
Yeah. One of my daughters says she's cheese. I'm like, why is that a first word?
I mean, why would it not be?
Why? I mean, you know.
Unless you're our poor dear Valkyrie, why would it not be?
Exactly. I'm trying to remember all the times when it's like, what's your vice this week? And our answers have been cheese.
Cheese. Tacos that have cheese on them. Also cheese. Fancy cheese. Cheap cheese. Cheetos. Cheese is like fuck of the culinary world. Like, you know how you can use fuck as almost any part of a sentence in English?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that makes so much sense.
Doesn't it? And you have not had enough wine to be drunk, so it must actually make sense. Cheese is the fuck of the culinary world. There we go.
Amen.
Yeah.
So, you asked what I'm reading, and I got the Vampire Chronicles, the first 3 books from Anne Rice, because I've been saying I'm going to read that shit for years. I made the mistake of buying it in one single volume, like the first 3 books, because I thought that was such a brilliant fucking idea, because it saved me money.
You take your books with you places.
I do, and it's like, I mean, we're talking bigger than Sarah J. Maas. Like, it's 3 pretty good, decent-sized novels in one. It's like
a melee weapon.
Yeah, like the Chronicles of Narnia I once got all at once, but that's like 7 fucking books or something. This is just 3 and it's in one, and I think it's bigger than the whole Chronicles of Narnia volume. So I'm like, okay, well, I can't read this at night because I'm gonna knock myself the fuck out when it drops on my head and I fall asleep. And I can't really carry it around in my purse, although I did today. I got to take the diaper changing table out, so I felt like it.
Fair. Totally
it replaced, fair. Yep. But anyway, so I started on the Vampire Chronicles. I'm like 50 pages in. I'm super excited, trying not to picture the movie as I'm reading it. And then I finished the first Sookie book, and I am proud to say that I've already got 2 and 3 sitting on my nightstand. So I'll start those. Yeah.
They are
I
far
really
more
like it.
portable.
So much more portable. So they even fit in the back pocket of my jeans, which is nice.
Yes, they do.
Yes. Yeah.
There's just, look, I love books. We both love corporeal books.
Mm-hmm.
There's something so comforting about a standard trade paperback in your hands, particularly if you are a sci-fi or fantasy reader.
Mm-hmm.
You are just like, this is my shit.
Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah.
Have book, we'll read.
Have book, we'll read.
Yes. I do have to say it's funny because we were talking about how the Sookie novels were like, oh my god, they were so much for me at one point. And I read the first one. I'm like, holy fuck, I must have been super innocent at one point. Because I'm just like, at least the first one is super fucking tame compared to like even Sarah J. Maas and like some of the other shit that I read on a regular basis. And I'm like, oh my god, what was wrong with me?
I mean, you've read shit that I've written, so
to be fair.
To be fair. So. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't get incredibly graphic. I feel like Harris is really good at, like, all of her sex scenes move the story along or add things. Like, I remember there's one part later in a later book where she's having sex with a specific partner, and she's talking about how, like, they're really a fan of monkey sex, where she just kind of hangs on to them, and they are very strong and vampiric. So she just kind of climbs them and has at it, and then they get her, a pack of frozen peas for her crotch when they're done. And I'm like, Jesus. This is very in style with the True Blood and the heavy Southern writing. Like, even if you haven't seen the series, when you read the books, you see Spanish moss dripping off of oak trees.
Yes.
And you get the vibe, and it's very, very much sex as a part of the story, a layer of the story, not sex for the sake of sex that I worked into the story, or sex that was built up to be the end all be all focal point of the story. I mean, and there's not really a right or wrong way to do that. There are some ways I appreciate more than others, but I like that Harris both doesn't exclude it, but like you mentioned Sarah J. Maas. I'm already frustrated with her next book. So one of the the House of Sky and Breath. So one of the things in Crescent City that the fandom gets really mad about is, and spoilers if you haven't read it for like the next 30 seconds, is there gonna be any penetrative sex in the next book? Like, these two poor characters are like losing their fucking minds. Just let them bone. And I read somewhere, and if this is, wrong information, forgive me, that the next book starts with those two characters deciding to not bone because they've just been through a traumatic event.
That doesn't
Jesus
make any
Christ,
sense.
that is the shittiest fucking plot device. Just whip your dick out and get it over with. What the ever-loving fuck? We are not 14-year-old girls deciding if we want to take off our purity ring or not. Just like in the first book, the female part of this party had random coke sex in the bathroom at a club that later explodes. Okay, just there is no benefit to us, the reader, to the story, or to them as characters. Like, if she pulls it off and there is, I will give her credit and I will be surprised. But like, we've talked about this before. Sarah J. Maas is really talented, but she is not exactly reinventing the wheel here. Like, just like, I understand that you have to build and you want to build romantic suspense. And there are genres that don't do that. There are genres that are all of that, tight-laced corset yearning. But at this point, like, if that's what she really does in the first part of the book, how did her editor not go, the fuck, this is cheap. Don't do that. We're not writing fan fiction. Okay. No, let the adult characters have sex and come up with a better issue for their relationship to overcome. Because at some point, especially if you're an older, like an adult reader who's been in a satisfying sexual relationship, when you're reading a long series, sex can't be the culmination of the relationship. It's not.
No, No, you can't. And I feel like that would do a disservice to what she's already set up. Because she set
Yeah.
up some pretty intense political shit that can come about. I read an interview that she said something about there's like 500% more sex. So I'm hopeful that maybe that,
Yeah.
even if that's just how it starts out, hopefully,
And
you
she
know.
did give us, and part of me is like, well, I need to give her the benefit of the doubt because the Sexy Wing book, Silver Flames,
Yes.
she used sex very well in that, but it
Mm-hmm.
was, I don't know, they definitely had other parts of their relationship that they were building and dealing with waiting to get to the sex. And I feel like these two characters have already been there. They've been living like literally together on purpose for you just need to let them have
Do
their
the thing.
moments. Do the
Yes.
thing. But I am really excited about that book because I think it's the brother on the cover, and I would very much like to delve into his story and his side of things more.
Ooh.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyway, all that said to say, Harris, I think, does sex in a very not casual to the characters, but almost casual to the book and the larger arc of the story kind of
Mm-hmm.
way. And it's very interesting. It's not bad. I can understand how some people don't particularly like it, but it's interesting and I find it to be well done and very just frank and honest and within her writing style. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Yeah.
It does. It does. I did have to get used to her writing style a little bit, and I know you and I talked about that a little
Mm-hmm.
bit because it's like super. Like, there's a point where she's like, and I put on. I don't know. It's
You know
not word for
every
word.
outfit Sookie wears in the entire
Yeah,
series.
I put on pantyhose cause this what reason, and then I went and took a shower, and then I don't. It's like every detail, and then so it took me at first. It was very off-putting, and now I'm just like, it's such a part of her writing style and such a part of the character of Sookie that I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
now I expect it, and I'm used to it, and I'm like, okay, this fits,
And
you
it's
know.
also kind of interesting because, like, I was raised in technically the South and I went to church as a kid. I understood you put on pantyhose for church on Sunday morning and that when you got dressed, it was a whole thing and, like, all of the whole getting fixed up and all that stuff. But, like, people read these books that have never lived in the South.
Mm-hmm.
So they have no context for all of these small cultural things of being a white Southern woman. Like at some point in the series, she talks about giving the cast iron skillet a good salt scrub and oiling. And I'm like, yeah, if you're not someplace that regularly uses cast iron, and in the United States, that's largely going to be like the South and maybe Minnesota, that's going to go over your head if she doesn't explain it. But for a lot of us, it's just like, this is a normal thing in life that I have done so many times. I get where her head is in this moment.
Yeah, yeah, that's
I'm
cool.
glad you're enjoying it.
I am, and I am actually after we finish recording tonight, I'm gonna jump in a book two. I think for sure, but
Nice.
yeah,
I think book 2 is the one where they go to Texas. I haven't read them in a while.
yeah.
I need to.
It's Living Dead in Dallas, so I'm assuming that you're
Yeah.
correct.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good. They're all good. I thoroughly enjoyed the whole series. Some more than others, but none of them were really flat. Anyway, I am reading through. I thought I would be done by tonight, but I'm not. Ghostland: An American History and Haunted Places by Colin Dickey.
Hmm.
And he just basically goes to all of these haunted places all over the US and he tells ghost stories. And it's interesting and it's not scary stories to tell in the dark from when we were kids.
Yes.
It's stories of actual people who were real or actual things that real people have experienced, and it's just like it makes you think, I guess, about death and the afterlife and how we relate to it. And he breaks them up in the contents, which is really interesting, by the unhomely houses and mansions, after hours bars, restaurants, hotels, and brothels, civic minded spirits, prisons, asylums, graveyards, and cemeteries, apart and useless memory cities and towns. And I don't know, it just makes me think, like, if you were a ghost, where would you haunt? How would you haunt? Would people believe in you even if you were obvious? This is probably not what everybody's getting it from it, but I am. It's interesting. It's thematic. I like that he puts like suburban architecture and brothels and all. Like, you think about a ghost and you think about like this beautiful mansion or blah 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 blah, and just like some of the best writing about living people is like this is the down and dirty. This is how their afterlife actually is.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because it seems like he's more interested in just telling. I mean, I say telling the truth. It depends on if you believe in ghosts or not. Telling the story as it is and as he experiences these places, than telling a good story or a great story. Like he kind of just lets it be what it is because these places are all interesting on their own merit.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, like, there are moments when you're like, holy shit, I maybe shouldn't read this before bed. But it is a book of ghost stories.
Right?
So, you know, I'm enjoying it. I'm glad I bought it. I'm glad I have it on my bookshelf. It's very seasonally thematic. And one thing I have found, even with Halloween, as much as I love it, with the whole global pandemic and my mental health and things, for the last 18 months or so, I've kind of just gone through the motions with the holidays.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to just do like little things to mark the season and enjoy it more. And this is definitely bringing in that vibe. So
That's awesome. Yeah. That's really cool. Yay, books for doing that shit.
Yay, books for doing that shit indeed. Good book. It's not all like hype, yay, everybody needs to read this right now, but I'm enjoying what it is adding to my seasonal vibes.
Awesome. Makes it worth reading.
Very much so.
Yes. So speaking of seasonal vibes, what are your vices?
The Reese's that I couldn't shut up about earlier. And also not related to Halloween, though I do love me some Halloween. But I have found myself watching My Big Fat Greek Wedding and My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2.
Oh, so good.
How amazing is Nia? She's just, yeah.
I don't think she's done anything since.
She's done a couple things, but they're indie. They're making they have a script for a third one. And I'm like, a trilogy more powerful than Star Wars. Make it, please. Because I think when the second one came out, we went and saw it in the theater with your mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I posted on Twitter the other day. I'm like, I might need to arrange a girls' trip around opening weekend when this comes out.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. Honey,
Yeah.
I'm going to Florida. There's a Greek movie. And it's funny because my mother-in-law loves this movie. When she came up this summer, I made a bundt cake and put a fake flower in the middle.
No, you didn't. That's amazing.
And I handed it to her and I said, I fixed it. And she went, there's a hole in this cake. And it was a thing.
That's amazing.
Because of this movie, my husband even likes My Big Fat Greek Wedding. And so when we lived in Florida, we would go to Greek Fest. I think we went 1 or 2 years to Greek Fest at the Greek Orthodox Church. Mm-hmm. And they didn't have one here last year because of COVID. And I think this year it's shortened, but next year, like, I have it on the calendar to go to Greek Fest because Greek Orthodox churches are beautiful and they're interesting, and Greek food is so damn good, and Greek coffee is so damn good. I mean, I have one of the little pots, and it's just kind of amusingly become this family thing that we enjoy because of these movies. We don't have any Greek in us, but bitch, I will eat some spanakopita. Yes. Thank you.
Oh, that's so fantastic. I need to watch that movie again now.
Yeah. I find like once a year, I just randomly am like, I'll see it on whatever streaming service has it this month. Mm-hmm. Although one of them I own on Amazon. I think it's the second one. And I'll just be like, oh yeah, I haven't watched this. And then if you watch like 10 minutes of the first one, you have to go back and watch all of it. And then you have to watch the second one. And then I inevitably end up going and watching I Hate Valentine's Day, which is one she wrote that also has John, what's his face, the hot dude in it. I have and then My Life in Ruins, which is the one where she's not Tula, but she's a Greek woman. She's a tour guide in Greece, and
I saw that one. That one's good.
Yeah, her movies are just like soul food, man. It's good.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
So that's definitely been my happy vice for this week. What about you?
This week, so my husband and I have been playing around a lot with more vegetarian meals, and we're not cutting meat completely 100% out, but we're trying to have more of like a 90-10 split for many reasons that I won't go into it like here. But
I mean, fucking the cost of meat after a global pandemic is a fair enough one.
Yes. So I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I was vegetarian for a long time, for a good 7 years.
Not vegan because cheese.
Because cheese, exactly. And then I got pregnant and had a craving for meat, and it's been difficult to go back to being totally vegetarian. So anyway, I had this recipe from when I was vegetarian for vegetarian Reubens. So super hella good. They are a complete fucking pain in the ass to make, because you have to make the like, you can't just open a bag of sauerkraut and put it on the sandwich. Like, you have to, like, grate apples and, like, add allspice. Like, adding the allspice is not a big deal, but, like, you have to, like, take an apple on a cheese grater and just, yeah, it's very involved, and it takes, like, a good solid hour and a half to make. And I really wanted them, and my husband was like, that sounds really delicious. I would like if you made that. And I was like, I'm gonna make it. And so I have to say that's kind of my vice, although, you know, it's short-lived, because I'm making it. I made it. I have, like, maybe one more serving in the refrigerator, and I'm not going to make it again for probably another year.
Yeah.
So it's a short-lived vice.
There are some foods that you're just like, this is so good. This is such a pain in the ass.
Yes.
It's a special thing now. It's a special thing.
Yes.
I can't think of any dishes I have like that, but I'm pretty sure my husband has a list in his head of dishes I don't make often enough.
I'm sure he does.
I definitely fed him frozen Trader Joe's pasta for dinner tonight, and I refuse to be ashamed.
No. There's no shame. I don't know. We all just kind of ate separately. We had, like, these recording days are always pretty crazy, usually before. And yeah, so, like, my son had my leftover lunch. My daughter had something. I don't know. My husband fed her.
She ate.
Yeah, so
you know what the youngest one ate?
She ate, and then yep. Well, she had rice and beans. Luckily, she's weaning off, because I'm just like, I'm so over it. So, yeah. But, and I had eggs and cinnamon toast, because I was like, I can't do the thing.
No, I don't blame you. Eggs and cinnamon toast actually sound good.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah. Those are good things. I feel like every family person, like, whether your family is like you and your cats, or you and another adult, or you and 3 adults, or you and another adult and 57 children, every family has that thing. There's one, sometimes 2 nights a week, that you're just like, this is gonna be a shit show. Just is. Just is. I have 1 day a week with my daughter's schedule and therapies and crap, where, except for taking her in and out of places, I sit in the car for 4 fucking hours.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not coming home and making dinner after that, unless it's Trader Joe's frozen pasta.
Amen. I'll drink to that. Cheers. Everyone.
All right. So, happy Halloween. If you're listening to this and it's not Halloween, or it's past Halloween, go eat candy, and happy Halloween. If you want to find us online, we are everywhere under Paper and Vices, except for TikTok. And we are on Goodreads under Lee Vices and Victoria Papers. Neither one of us updates it as much as we should, because we talk about our books here in length. If you have a book you think we should read, if you have a vice you think we should explore, if you have some spirits you believe we should imbibe, you can message us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or you can email us at lee@paperandvices.com or victoria@paperandvices.com. Please subscribe and share. It really does help us reach more people, even if you just go leave a review on iTunes, because with the way social media and every new algorithm is, A, I'm too fucking old to keep up with that shit, and B, the only way to actually grow your audience in a reliable, organic way is to actually grow your audience. So we love you. We appreciate you. I hope you have a safe and happy Halloween.
Yes, indeed. In the meantime, don't be an asshole, smoke a joint, and take care of yourself.
This has been a production of Paper and Vices, copyright 2021. This episode is presented for entertainment purposes only, and any advice should be pursued only within the legal boundaries, common sense, and personal responsibility of each person. Please check your local laws. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the individual hosts and guests only, and do not in any way represent the views of Paper and Vices LLC or any named persons, nor should they be considered personal, medical, or legal advice. Previous episodes and other commentary can be found at paperandvices.com.